pledge love and loyalty to the country salo. My how we there, my how we born. We sweet salo. We not for make this country fall. Mama salo. We let we salo. But this sweet land we love. We not for make and fall. We let we salo. Then they thief the money, then they fly. They London, they Dubai, then they buy. We they are, we just a try. This year don't come up and dry eye. Then they thief the money, then they fly. They London, they Dubai, then they buy. We they are, we just a try. But this year don't come up and dry eye. We pledge we love and loyalty to the country salo. My how we there, my how we born. We sweet salo. We not for make this country fall. Mama salo. We let we salo. But this we land we love. We not for make and fall. We let we salo. But this we land we love. We not for make and fall. We
for the wreck the country. It's a witch. For the wreck the country, for the wreck the country. I guess I carpets, Gaman Keraka, Gaman Koneka, Gaman Keraka, Chamucham, Gaman Monica, Kaipom, Gaman Koneka, for the wreck the country, for the wreck the country. It's a witch. For the wreck the country, for the wreck the country. And they go and they beg. Shem. The people that they gen. Then Hagawa Shem. They make me put the chicken and the picture. Now we hope for today and the future. Forgive them by scripture. They make me put the chicken and the picture. Now we hope for today and the future. Don't forgive them by scripture.
We pledge love and loyalty to the country salo. My how we there, my how we born. We sweet salo. We not for make this country fall. Mama salo. We let we salo. But this we land we love. We not for make and fall. We let we salo.
We I say no place like home. I like it, I can talk them, I like it, I can fight them.
Hello, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you're on Mother Earth, and welcome. Today, I want to speak about a subject that sits quietly behind every political decision, every governance failure, and every illusion of progress that we have in Sierra Leone, my country of birth, and many parts of Africa. We often argue about corruption. We will debate leadership competence. We tweet about elections. We condemn coup d'etats and make a big issue of them. But we rarely ask the deeper questions. And as I said in my Wednesday submission, I have changed the vision and mission of this channel. It's now going to be not only about Sierra Leone, but also about Africa, because whatever is happening in Sierra Leone, whatever is wrong in Sierra Leone, whatever is right in Sierra Leone, is a microcosm of the bigger picture of the continent. Whatever obtains in Sierra Leone, you would find similar incidences, similar events, similar occurrences all over the continent. So we must be looking at the questions and finding answers to these questions. The first question is, what is the psychology behind our leaders? How do they think? Why do they feel that way? Why do we have coups all the time? If we don't answer to these questions, we'll be fooling ourselves. We'll be running on a treadmill, and we'll be doing the same things, expecting different outcomes all the time. At this material moment in the history of the planet Earth, at this material moment when technology is almost taking over humanity, and with Africa as a continent that has one of the youngest demographics on earth, which needs input and investments, if we don't ask the correct questions, if we don't find the correct answers, then we are doomed. We are doomed. And if we cannot get out of this quagmire, we have to stop blaming and complaining. We have to begin to think out of the box. We have to revisit our psyche. Because whatever is wrong with us may be influenced by some external forces, may be influenced by some external factors. But let us ask the simple question. Asia and other parts of the world experienced the same colonization as we did. How did they manage to be better off than we are in Africa today? How did the Indians, who were colonized by the British, who had similar or worse experiences like us in Africa, manage to become a global economic force? They are not a global economy yet, but they are a global economic force. And let us look at India. What do we see? An overpopulated country. But how are they managing? Why is it that we have all the failures in Africa? Every week or two, you would hear of a coup d'etat. Whenever there are elections, the outcomes are always, this will say I won, that says I won. Now today, I listened to former President Jonathan of Nigeria, who happened to have been the head of the ECOWAS team to Guinea-Bissau. He came out rightly and said, whatever happened in Guinea-Bissau was not a coup d'etat. That the president, the incumbent, had announced that there was a coup against him, and later a military man came to say something about a coup d'etat. Who is fooling who in Africa? Why is it that our leaders behave the way they behave? Yes, we've been out shouting all over the place. The problem with Africa is corruption. Yes, it is. As it is all over the world. There is corruption everywhere. There's corruption everywhere. The quantum of corrupt money that changes hands in Europe can make Africa into a modern continent. But why is it that Europe is not being destroyed by corruption? I'm not justifying corruption. No way, I'm not justifying it. I'm only saying, why is it that with all the corruption in Europe, we see their economy still function? We see their infrastructure still function. Their educational system still function. There is adequate food, even though it's expensive. Yes, it's expensive. Everything is expensive, but it's there for people to purchase. There are jobs for people to do to earn income. There is an environment that allows innovation. Why don't we have it in Africa? Why? What is the psychology behind our leaders? This is the key question that we need to focus on. Why is it that the African leaders are not succeeding like leaders in other parts, even though there is corruption all over the world? To understand the challenges of leadership in Africa today, we must go back in history. We have to go back to the colonial days. And let me just make one point clear. When we talk about colonial days in Africa, we have to be very exact about how long colonialism has been in Africa. For most of us, it's the European colonialism that we talk about. There had been colonialism before the Europeans came. There had been colonialism before the European slave trade started. What I'm saying is that Africa has had the longest period of foreign hegemony, expanding over centuries. Africa has had the longest period of Holocaust, expanding over centuries. And the end result of all of this is that today, most of us don't even know what the original Africa was. Most of us have lost our cultural links. Most of us have lost every sense of connection to who the natural African is. Well, maybe it may be in our DNA. Yes, it may be. But our DNAs can be modified with time. And I believe there has been a lot of modification such that today we don't even know who we are. We don't have values that are originally from our cultures. And we talk about modernization. The question is, what do we modernize? What do we modernize? What are we talking about modernization? If you cannot modernize your culture, if you cannot modernize your knowledge base that is connected to your culture, what are you modernizing? Copying somebody else's culture, taking from somebody else and trying to be that person? Is that the modernization we want in Africa? Let us take a critical look at why we are thinking and acting the way we do. Because if we want to talk about the psyche of our leaders, we should not exclude our very selves talking. We have all been part of that colonized system. But let us concentrate on the recent past, maybe the European colonialism. What did it do to us? If you cannot speak English, French, Portuguese, or Spanish, you are considered to be less intelligent. It's only in the African environment that intelligence is measured by your ability to be proficient in a language which is not yours. The next thing that colonialism did to us was we forget about our African values. We took foreign values, European values, Arabic values, etc., and we call those civilization. Our values became something else, inferior. Further, we are made to disown our identity because we think it's inferior. We are taught to be obedient because without obedience, you cannot succeed. And this is a very critical factor that is being misused largely on the continent today. This obedience thing is why our political parties fail. They don't represent a national institution. They only represent people who are obedient to them. And when you are obedient to them, you have access to the resources, then you can succeed. There is another side to this. Because of the obedience factor, we've seen cults and other things of surreptitious nature grow into superior institutions more powerful than our states. All of these are products of colonization. On the plane of education, we don't teach our children to understand concepts and apply them. It's all about memorizing. Memorize it, give it back to the teacher, then you get your marks and pass. So therefore, memorization is what education is in most parts of Africa. And what is the result of this? Because of this, we are taught to respect authority, not question it, which may be good in some cases, but not every case. We learn to imitate rather than innovate. Everything we do in Africa is a copy. We cannot do things on our own. We have to copy. We buy parts from different parts of the world, we assemble them, and we write on the product, made in Sierra Leone, made in Ghana, made in Tanzania. We are not making anything. We're only imitating. And whoever amongst us has that ability to be innovative, the first thing you notice is, oh, it becomes a political issue. The government of the day is fortunate to have this kind of innovation. They make all the kind of noises you would hear. A few weeks later, you wouldn't hear a thing about it anymore because nobody cares to invest in that kind of innovation. This is how colonized we are. If we want to change our continent, if we want to improve on our continent, we have to look at the psyche that we have. And this psyche should not only be limited to what was done wrong by Europeans. Because long before Europeans came, there had been an introduction of Arab colonialism. And that has an impact on our psyche also. As a matter of fact, it was the first stage of deculturalization of the African. If we are to rise, as we have been taught by this long colonial period, we have to be closer to whiteness. We admire the Arab or the European more than who we are. So when independence came, what did we do? What did we achieve actually? We only changed the flags. We only changed the flags. Because even the political institutions did not change. The political institutions that we inherited from the colonialists are the political institutions we are still using. And we keep fooling ourselves. When the British were in Sierra Leone, who told you there was democracy? Show me the constitution that was written to run Sierra Leone by the colonial government. Show me that constitution. The first constitution we ever had was the 1961 constitution. There was no constitution before then. And even that constitution, we did not write it. It was written in London and given to us. The same, I believe, happened all over Africa. Constitutions were written by the colonialists and given to them. During the time of colonialism, there was no constitution. It was an autocracy. The governor and his team of commissioners or whoever came from Europe had all the say. They take all the decisions. They wouldn't consult. They wouldn't allow local participation. As a matter of fact, this was what led to the hot tax war in Sierra Leone. When that hot tax war took place, a whole body of so-called experts were given the task of investigating. They wrote a report on it, that it was the arrogance of the European commissioners that caused the hot tax war, aided by an unruly police force who were Africans who saw that working with white men made them better, or who thought that working with white men made them better than the African brothers. They will go all over the place molesting the African brothers. The war started when they started arresting paramount chiefs and putting them under the sun to look at the sun for hours. The people revolted. And as a matter of fact, the war didn't start with Baibure. The report is there. And this is not only unique to Sierra Leone. The Mau Mau in East Africa, in Kenya, had similar origins. Autocracy. Look at all of Africa. Whatever happened in South Africa at the time of Shaka Zulu was the same thing, autocracy. And yet, we are being told the lies that there was democracy and it was us who selfishly, after independence, decided to destroy those democracies and go into one-party states, etc., etc. The real fact is, we were brought up and we are still being taught to be autocrats and bullies. The African who has adopted the European culture, who thinks European culture is better, is an autocrat and a bully. We do it all the time, even if we are not in politics. We do it amongst ourselves. Look at the Nigerian films. You will see a manifestation of how bullying we are. It's shameful for us to see those films where somebody will work for you, you treat him like a slave, you slap them, you kick them, and we think it's filmmaking. It's not filmmaking, it's a manifestation of our social psychology. This is who we are. This is why we suffer. This is why our continent is backward. If we want to change, if we want to make progress, we have to look at our social psychology. We have to look at our psyche, because whoever emerges as leader is somebody who was born and brought up in the culture. And a culture is nothing other than a set of habits that have been regularized and made into standard. If the culture is one of bullying and impunity, then that's the leaders we have. That's why the saying goes that a people get the kind of leader they deserve. Rather than blaming, complaining, tribalizing, compartmentalizing our general ineptitudes, can we now begin to look at what needs to be looked at? Especially those of us who think we are educated enough or we are intellectuals. We owe the greatest responsibility to change what is happening on the continent. We can do it if we are ready to. If we are not ready to, so be it. Then the beat continues. But one thing I would use as a caution, when we are successful in copying and behaving like colonialists up to this point, I would assure you, after this point, it's going to be very difficult for us to succeed, especially those of us who think we are politicians. Global dynamics are changing, and they are changing rapidly. Rapidly. We see what is happening in the United States. People who have lived in that part of the world for the last 30 years are being deported, dragged like nobodies. Before now, most of us will say, well, if Africa is like this, let me go and seek greener pastures. The greener pastures are no longer green. Take that from me. I am in one of those countries that you think is one of the most secured on earth, Norway. It's getting tough here every day. It's getting difficult here every day. And when things get tough, who are the first victims? People who migrated. They are the first victims. It's time Africans begin to ask the correct questions. It's time we begin to look at the real issues. It's time we change our psyche. Our leaders, our politicians, the elites of Africa need to sit down and ask the relevant questions. We have to move away from those colonial razzmatazz that we have been admiring. We have to move away from that mentality that leadership is about prestige. It's not. It's about service. It's not about prestige. It's about service. If you cannot serve your people, don't go into politics. If you are not prepared to serve, you are being paid for it. And most times, the reward in terms of wages, in terms of conditions of service, in terms of your ability to make new networks that will be profitable to you, are so enormous that you have no business not being of service to the people. The average politician in Africa is earning maybe 5, 10 times what the normal skilled worker would earn. The average politician in Africa has conditions of his service that are far above what the normal worker, skilled labor, would have. And yet still, they don't have time to sit down and ask the right questions. Change in Africa is not about reading manifestos. It's about thinking out of the box to see what is it that is not right about us that we need to modify, that we need to amend, that we need to change. When we have identified these factors, it's up to us to go down to the people and say, we have identified that this are some of the things holding us back. What do we do about them? Listen to the dull, even the dull and the stupid down there. This issue of superiority, we are the chosen few. We have Western education. We know it all. Can we move away from that? Can we please move away from that? You may have all the best degrees or not, but you wouldn't know the environmental conditions of somebody living far away down there. You wouldn't know the needs of that person. Stop pushing things down the throats of people. They may have skills that can produce goods and services for them. They may have knowledge that can bring innovation. But we shut them out by not talking to them, referring to them as illiterates, when unfortunately, we who assume we're educated are the illiterates of the 21st century, according to Alvin Toffler, who wrote Future Shock. We are the illiterates. We assume we know everything, when in fact we don't know a thing about those people we lead. As a matter of fact, in our minds, we don't lead, we rule, which make us autocrats, not democrats. It's us or you suffer. You listen to me because I know it all. You don't know it all. You don't know it all. The universe is such a wide and complex intelligence apparat that you cannot know it all. You have to listen to the people, especially those whose lives daily are affected by the environment in which they live. Go down there, get them to tell you what needs they have in that environment. because that environment is what defines them. What we call culture is defined by the environment. If you do a global survey of cultures, one thing that comes clearly is that every culture on earth has a level of similarity, but there are differences based on the environment. Your food culture is influenced by your environment. Your housing culture is influenced by your environment. Your dress culture is influenced by your environment. Your music, etc., they're influenced. Even your educational culture is greatly influenced by the environment. It's only in Africa that we talk about summer school. Do we have summer in Africa? In Europe, they have summer, they have winter, they have autumn and spring. In Northern Hemisphere countries, they do have this. So that is how education was influenced by the climate. But we would adopt it, hook, line, and sinker. Hey, we're going to summer school. Who told you it's summer? Why don't you call it rainy season school in Sierra Leone? Because what you call summer school happens or takes place during the rainy season. We need to decolonize our psyche. We need to, especially so those of us who say we want to take up leadership. First and foremost, we should understand that it's a service. It's a service, not a prestige. We are paid and given certain facilities because that service is unique. It's not a prestige. We have to change our perceptions. We have to change our beliefs about what leadership is. Our mindset has to move away from the prestige of convoys. Here in Norway, even the king does not have convoy. He would only travel with a number of securities without siren, etc., etc. The security escorts, do we need them? Yes and no. I'll deal with the no. Under normal circumstances, we don't need all that security escort that our politicians have. But because we have still been behaving like autocrats, bullying others, we create dissatisfaction. We create quiet grievances. And so therefore, we don't feel safe in moving around. That's why we need security escorts. Yes, we do. Because of our behavior, because of our perceptions, because of what we do wrongly. The next thing our leaders have to look at is this issue of traveling, foreign travels. For God's sake, Africa holds about 45% of the resources the earth needs. For God's sake, we have a young population that's on the average 19 plus 5 years median age. And we have a population of close to 2 billion. Rather than we build up that potential within our continent, we prefer to be traveling all over the globe, going to places that have little or no benefits for us. Let me make one point clear. Running away from Europe to China or to Russia is like jumping from the frying pot into the fire. Because these guys, they're all colonial minded. The Chinese are colonizing us. They are. They'll come with all the projects built for you, the best bridges, etc., etc. Then you become indebted to them. And for a very long time, they control your economy. Where possible, they will take away your resources at very low profits to you. It's happening in Sierra Leone. It's happening all over Africa. The Russians were in Guinea, and they are still there, taking away bauxite with little returns to the country. When are we going to wake up? Do I need to be traveling to Brussels, Paris, Beijing for me to be able to develop my country? Or do I need to go down to the people and ask them, what do we need? How do we need it? So we begin to look at local ways of building up. When China was described as the iron cutting nation on earth, they never traveled. Mao Zedong and others didn't travel. They were in China, looking at how to build up their cultural and other resources. They had an agreement. Oh, because of this period of austerity, let us all make it simple. Let all of us wear uniform. If Mao Zedong had blue today, everybody in his cabinet will put on blue. If he had pink today, everybody will put on pink. They did it to create a semblance and a sense of national unity. Up to 1980s, the Chinese were putting on uniform. Up to 1980s. Today, they're almost taking over the global economy, if they have not taken it over. It took them less than 50 years to develop. What is taking us so long in Africa? Why can't we do the same? If we want to talk about different tribes, go to China. There are tribes in China. There is the Cantonese Chinese, the Mandarin Chinese, they have the Mongolians, they have the Tibetans, they have plenty of different linguistic groups. So tribalism is not our problem, it's our psyche. We are still to decolonize our minds in Africa. We are still to become the African, not a zombie appearing in black skin. Welcome, sir. Tell God thank you. that is part of the problem of colonialism, sir. Yeah. Now the wind we dey look at the enabling factors. Well, Doc, just hold your thoughts a little bit, sir. I think in the past we didn't have the platform, but now we have it. What do I mean by that? What do you mean you to do so? We may not realize the impact of it. But this is the platform that we need. With time, what has been put in place over 400 years cannot be disassembled in 400 days. With time, people are going to begin to understand the rationale of what you would discuss. They will begin to warm up to it. And then that's when the process of change starts. So don't give up. Stop. Oh, we have everything, Doc. And no need for being a political office for change salon. What here they do so, in a reach side way to God, the change they begin. Yes, because the people then they think now Homo sapiens. Then they reason. Go ahead, sir. Yeah, yeah. You know they talk about your neighbor like me. Almost 100 years they say don't get independence. Well, go ahead, sir. We are colonized, Doc. Just put it simply. We are mentally colonized. That is common all over Sierra Leone. Well, then it's good you are thinking culturally. That's what I mean by harnessing cultural resources. In fact, if we not get that red dot in that area, the best thing we go do now for make them find a way for mold the dirty into permanent seats and tables. Then smoothing them. You go put cushion there. The picking go they go in the house with in cushion. Okay. This is how development takes place, Doc. That's how China developed. I know. I agree that issue there. Well, you see, we problem is complex, but it's not that complex. It's complex because if we want to be honest, Doc, 80 to 90% of who they claim for being intellectuals We are nothing but products of colonialism, where we mentality still colonized. And what in been the colonial system? The colonial system was one of impunity and autocracy. That's what we practice today as governance. We therefore face this truth. What do we call government? Now, an institution of gross impunity. Not a democracy. We don't get democracy. Lord, left for fool we serve. And this is not only in Sierra Leone, it's in most parts of Africa. You understand? Because colonial governments never had democratic processes. There was no constitution in any of these colonies. It was the governor's word, and that's final. If they give instructions to commissioners them, it's final. Then they employ and train some of our African brothers them, give them uniform for use them as bullies. This is what the police and army in Africa still do. Now this cycle we need for look at how we go change them. But it's a very complex process because thing where people that are used to for centuries for change overnight, you know, is you. Mm-hmm. 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 Yes. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. That's saying another year. Why?
He is. He dey go with a paper. Minister of Agriculture, now 10 million they be give you for that money. How you spend them? You say na so, the person take them. He go review them and he say, okay, you say he spend them and he spends by this, but what I don't calculate, it just comes to 6 million. What about the other 4 million? As one sheet paper. Where this person can post time, he go present them to Parliament because Parliament then creates this group, the Auditor General, on behalf of the country. If we go, we will do government at higher level with no safety law. But
The Auditor General actually was created by the Constitution. There is a whole section on the Auditor General in the Constitution.
Yes. Okay. But before the body they exist, they function just like human rights institution. They get to approve them by Parliament.
Yes.
So if Parliament approve, when they don't come find out, therefore present to Parliament. But now, this person and Parliament can be enemy. That institution not a person. Because it don't go finance agriculture. Now 6 million, they spend all the 4 million, they able account of her. And when Parliament get that information, then they talk them publicly, and then they want to go find out. Then the president can vex. Because if he say they don't come pull in West Nadu. And not in West Nadu, they pull. Now for let it now call the minister and say, this money, now blood money, now people money, now government money. They give you this for this. Now they don't find out say now 6 million is spent. What the 4 million? Now the point that one they go public and sack them, go public and make them.
Now,
I
let you hold them. I will let you hold them. You see, I'll go assure you one thing. We will complain about what is happening now, but we change the team of politicians, we bring another team. The same thing they happen or worse. You know why? with psyche is still colonized. And I always want to let you know, say, psychology don't prove, say, people are as they think and become as they think. I have said it over and over.
I got a question for you.
Adekam, let me just finish my point, sir. The social psychology, as it was created by the colonial mind controls them where they don't push me through. What do we call education? What do we call administration? These are all products of a colonial system that we never changed. How then give we have 1961, how they use it today?
I want to ask you a question about that.
Go ahead, sir.
Why you decide for create this platform, sir?
Now, for teach people, let them understand some of them things they are saying are then wrong with
But now for understand them, for let you make something better and change, or for teach you and say that circumstance will not get it, not go ever change.
Now, for make them better.
Is that why?
Now, for make them better. But first, then, if we accept, say,
what you say, so you contradict that side.
no, they come. For make it be better, they first and foremost have to accept in their mind, in their spirit, that what is being said is correct. I can talk now until thy kingdom come. If the person still colonizing, now they understand what you are they talk. And I'll tell you, this is one of the biggest problem of the Sierra Leonean. Me when they talk to me na Sierra Leone, sabi.
No, the only disagreement was.
But if white man can talk the same thing, they will clap for him.
No, Mr. Dallo, I disagree with you in some.
Okay, go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
One, for let you combine, your statement combine every Sierra Leonean and think say politically, then they think and act the same, which is not the case.
80 to 90%.
Well, we not conduct no empiricals.
Now, they come. I go justify them.
Okay, go ahead.
You know how they justify them?
Yes, sir.
If we bring 50% Sierra Leoneans, so they think they think Sierra Leone before them better pass through.
Well,
the majority are thinking wrongly. That's why our country is stagnated. If the majority were not thinking wrongly, or if there was a median between those thinking wrongly and those thinking rightly, that 50% where they think rightly, then before don't get greater impact.
Let me tell you one thing, sir. You know what make me very embellish and kind of semi-pessimistic. I mean optimistic, not so pessimistic. Is that when we talk about let me say the political education in terms of USA will be there before 2023, 2018, 2023 to now. Oh my God. Oh, well, wait. I can't say. Mr. Jallo, we are not at the same level anymore.
Yeah, we are not. You know why?
Let me say something.
Yeah, go ahead.
I believe a lot of people are still in denial. But I can tell you the reality. And the reality is that if we go maybe, let me say before 2018, the level at which people pay attention to the things that they happen around them as Salon, not to the same right now. A lot of time the Salonians they believe say, let them try it. Because when they win now for them, they don't pass there now. Some people in there now water, now they be sell. They sell this water, then that water they or the ice where they make. Then they bring families from upline. They can't sell up. Some people in there, we were there here in North America where we say we know and we don't involve in shipping things and cars and other stuff in a salon. And I don't go give salon and the people that they sell. Where they don't go sell, they don't go sell the barrel, they bring the money in the campaign. But I don't do a miss. And some people in there now today, people don't send goods again as salon because the ports, if you say they send the 230 million from here one container. The water wey be dey sell, wey dey bring people upline, they can't sell ice to get money, they light money. 64% of the population no get access to electricity. That small percentage wey they get, they take hours and days and charge wholesale. And so people are not begin what. So things are happening when people are not begin understand. Say, if you don't give the right form of leadership, it bring problems. So they are catching up. Now I understand. People are not clear, they don't exist, especially with that population of young people. When people say they don't know left and right for the most part. But I can tell you, when they talk about always this natural energy step, maybe not with energy, in terms of the behavior and actions of people. I know 28.5%, 28.5%, based on the hunger index study in Sierra Leone this year, say they are suffering from extreme hunger within the 82% where they face hunger already problem. So these things are real. Now we get technology, phones them, Uhuma then get access to WhatsApp, then they listen. Even they know they read, then they see our messages there. So people are getting there.
Yeah, but we are only complaining and blaming. How many people are coming with the solutions?
It's Daniel the type of say so for say. If things are continuing to how they be, trust me, Mr. Daniel, people are not just going to sit down and one thing, what you mean? Okay, I'll tell you now. I'll give you another example. Today, I wake in the morning, I see Honorable Okike then decide to go around the country and Kenima, then go take videos of the hospital. They get I don't see make. So they hospital a day. When person die in a Kenima right now, they either there on the same day or that they check that body, they then bring an African straight away. If they not do them, then the thing will point. So imagine families over there abroad because they don't even get a cooler for put the body there. But you see, the lifestyle of people are doing. I believe, say, yes, people are still hang on to say, that I will plus I will this. But people, real people among the population, where they support whosoever way they, people in there, where they say, these things are not good, we get change. And it take time, Mr. Jallo. I believe if Salon they keep failing, and then when they come, when they say, they say, no, we can't accept this. It's coming.
Well, you are proving a simple psychological fact. Failure and problems are necessary at times because it instigate change for happen. The human mind, when things get good for them, after some point they become complacent. When things get extremely hard, the opposite happens. People, they go into what they call the trauma of learned helplessness. You understand? And when you look at Sierra Leone, that is what is one of the underlying factors behind this drug abuse in the country. The young people not see hope in anything, so now they don't say, well, what thing for Billy be, me not care again. You understand? But the beauty about the extreme situation here is, this is where the intellectual class comes in. The intellectual class, not only class way for they go by the music. A lot of intellectuals like Noam Chomsky, etc., don't make it clear say the role of the intellectual not only for obey authority, but not for question authority.
Oh, of course.
One of the things we still need for imagine as Sierra Leone, we not imagine it, I go tell you this. If it imagine self, now few they do them right now. Rather than the intellectual class come together like they talk about national conversation, for make we face the issues, we they come together for promote certain egoistic agenda so that we will be recognized. This is where failure has been part of Sierra Leone's development. People will come and talk all the talk they want to talk. You they listen to them, say, oh, this man get the answer. Get the job for do na nonsense they do. KKY now one example. You understand?
In a extreme, every.
Let me just finish my point, sir. You see, for make change happen in Sierra Leone at this material moment, it may take a long time, maybe not even in my lifetime. What I'm doing now is maybe trying to contribute by laying the foundation for the correct mentality. But the change itself would happen when the intellectuals then begin come together. They say, no, boo, this thing not to say for be so. Whoever are the politician, you not get no alternative but to listen to that body of intellectuals. Now you mention about civil society. Civil society not any new thing. This part of the world where you did, then get think tanks, then get other institutions, then one a non-governmental organization, not so. Each of them gets a particular sector of the society where they concerned with, whether concerned with environment, whether concerned with economy, education, etc. These institutions have grown into formidable forces where they challenge the status quo. What we are failing in Sierra Leone is because we are still colonized and thinking as autocrats. When somebody forms civil society, if we attach them to a political party, talk all kind of autocrat way able talk. When Tenka go turn politician. We've seen it since civil society started in Sierra Leone.
You are right, because when they see Mambu, look at them at TV yesterday. They all Mambu them.
I mean, lock up. I did the claim saying amen. The man a lock up, man. Mambu na lock up. Not a mende. Moyamba na lock up people and get today. Listen to me. Moyamba na lock up people and get today. Now mende then they talk they elect today. Moyamba now the part of the country we been getting one of the few original settlers. The Bandi and the Bolom.
Mr. Jallo, na Moyamba Mambu komo?
Ine Mambu then for Moyamba. Then famble then go fend Kamakwe. The family we go fend Kamakwe, then change the name or they modify them because of the linguistic quoting. Instead of Mambu, then they call them Mambo. Bombali district, to get a family, they will name Mambu, not so. And then fend Kamakwe. I'm causing them. This is what I'm saying. We don't know who we are.
No, but let me, Mr. Jallo, you know what? The issue here is that a lot of time the identities that what we carry in terms of like maybe last names or the tribe, and when you look at the honor ethno-linguistics conditions, a lot of people once they find themselves somewhere and it grows somewhere, and that origin of whether the last name or whatever we get, yes, it will carry on. But the person they just identify himself with the current circumstance.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
So you see, so sometimes then we become trapped in the sense that they begin to think about, say, this person, even though they act so, but not so it did. But however, the circumstance we find itself, it don't become a victim of that environment thing. And at that one they play. That's where it be. So,
well, victims are created by us.
The problem now here, what do we type of talk about here?
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't hear people and they talk about their organization, civil society organizations. I was surprised to see how their organization there, hundreds of them, how far they disappear. immediately we get a change of government. And they're all ambassadors, so they don't become ministers, members of parliament, so they don't say anything.
They talk about civil society. When the NGO them.
Like that boy where they call what's his name? What's his boy name? The anti-corruption boy.
Okay, fella.
They call her Renaissance. That's what they call the organization. Renaissance.
But not to Instagram. Not to Instagram. He was just the mouth they make the loudest noise. The people that will start Renaissance, most of them not even there with the government today. You see what? Yes, you know they hear me.
No, listen, let's just end up that side is a place. You see, people then talk about, they say APC and SLPP no go even cover saloon because of a lot of conditions and things.
Because the people are still mentally colonized, Doc.
No, Mr. Gallo, let me just come into this. Okay, me they say they're not able. But now they suggest there should be a third force. Fantastic. A third force is good.
But the third force is going to come with the same colonial mentality.
No, Ms. Gallo, I know they worry about the colonial. Ghana is no longer governed. There are 80-something% of the population. They're all now young people. They're not born there colonial time. Except when they use the word colonial for just describe the situation, but not in abstract terms. But the point here is, the point why the type of say is the circumstance where exists in Sierra Leone, a kind of unique. That's why I decided Sierra Leone as a unique society. If you don't travel, you don't live in another country, you don't try for which is every day for years, you they see the way how people take their country, them Salon take their country in a different way, and the generation to generation, then they carry the wickedness, the bad, the weakness, just everything.
Well, this is all part of the colonial mentality. We don't make an now into a culture. We they transmit the mentality to picking them as a norm. I want you to get this. I don't care whether they get 6, 7, 8 generation. If we not identify the root cause of behavior patterns, them we still now autocratic bullying and impunity, etc. It's the same colonial mentality that is being transferred.
Well, the way me they say this, I am looking at it as before the white man came to that country, you understand it? We believe, I strongly believe, the traditional lifestyle where people then get, when they know they care about the ordinary man, and continue in our country. Because the white man not in the country.
Not only the white man alone colonize we.
Well, before
now we get one point clear. Colonialism started in Africa sometime around the 9th or 10th century.
Mr. Jallo.
By then, Europeans are not in Ghana, Africa. Colonialism started, we created political economies that operated on colonial structures.
Okay, let me just I don't know. I wish the presence where some of we get now Facebook or now some people get. Let you just follow people where they say this is working at the office of the president. And because me, I can always for come into practical terms. Let you see how more people in the distorted reality for benefits themselves.
But that's part of the colonial mentality, Doc.
No, well, I don't believe
Doc, I want let you listen to me.
I don't believe that
they come. Let us stop talking theories.
It's a selfishness where they promote an independent.
Yes, children grow selfish because they were brought. Doc, I want let you listen to me, sir.
Yes, sir.
Children learn what they live. Go and find that poem and read it. It was written by Dorothy Notlalaw. What a child grows up to know is what he becomes as an adult. All the rubbish where they go on as Sierra Leone, so look the origins of the people who they run the country. They went to institutions that were willfully put up by the colonial system for build African mentality for failure.
Mr. Gallo, let me ask you one question, sir. If Britain, they feed them like they begin their family, and you know say the land we get 5.4 million hectares of land from Waterloo take all over the country.
Mm-hmm.
And now we know some of we study climate change don't become an effect. We get extreme weather, variations of weather. Now during the country now. And now we they grow rice, but the rice how they grow, we get how much rainfall they affect we. And so we get to sit down, we think about farming patterns. I didn't do agriculture, but through my study in public policy, I had to study environment and do environmental studies where give me the opportunity for able to talk a little bit about and link them up to policy. It's not any colonial thing for me. For me, why be leader? How you go everywhere say they bring policies there for address the issues them of food in the country. Again, for think about who should be involved in that. The British say no, they can't tell me how to feed families. How would they go? People will suffer.
But that's what they do up to now.
So it's not about colonial. This everything that evil mentality of the people that for promote their selfish interest.
Well, I'm not going to disagree with that, but at the same time,
Mr. Jallo, let me tell you, you know how many times presidents, prime ministers of countries they travel per year? We would get inside 1 month more than the times where president did travel.
But why do they need to travel?
And you not get plane. You get for hire either some trip then the way they go 4 or 5 days or 1 week, or they even do a marathon trip. It is spend over $1 million. And you know we have for buy machine then let rest they let the able farm the entire country. Take a look at the 2023 NEC. Go to the 2023 General report. Go to the section for agriculture.
Doc, all those documents will keep coming. Doc,
this is not a colonial. This is an evil mentality of somebody when you're supposed to be in leadership.
Let us have a common understanding.
No, we not agree for that side.
Now, I don't want us to agree, but let us have a common understanding.
When mother be on Peking, when less than 10 years old, they walk up plane every time, they eat every day. And you get that woman in Peking where they of the same 9 year old, they go without food. You don't need British mentality for letting know say he wrong. Not all the British they do, Mr. Jallo. This is an evil practice by people away, evil for that country, not so for the leadership. That's not me on thing that day. I not agree on the colonial.
I will not disagree with that, but I will let you know, say.
Yes, sir.
We can cry all this, we change matter, but the next now they can't do the same thing.
Well, I know that other side is back. You know what to make a get question mark? Okay. The question mark will get. If you change matter, you put an order SLPP, it will happen. If you bring somebody from another party, when what we see in Sierra Leone, and that one the passports disagree. I know there's corruption, there are evil things and the APC self you get people let them in the cage, all that thing. But when you look at
corruption is not our problem.
People will get at least they're able to do something for change things them. Now the APC side. Down there in a point blank. And look, this boy, when they go and groom, Senge not ever appear in a public where even they give a speech where it makes sense. And they look at him and say, oh my God, it's like I want let this man understand this.
Doc.
In background, let me tell you, sir. In background, not even prepare him for able to do something.
Let me ask you certain simple questions.
Go ahead, sir. Go ahead. Yes, sir.
Okay, let us agree that the SLPP and then they do all the bad things. Yes, that's a fact.
No, not so they do all the bad things.
They come. Just allow me, sir. Please. Doc, I know about salon politics. I saw independence. I attended independence, sir. Okay? I was in the second class. They load me in a train from Songo. Then bring me Water Street to Stadium, Usai Stadium, Then they call the Recre. Usai you building this one have been vacant land. They make fun fair day. And the house where I grew up, that be a politically active house. There are things about the politics of Sierra Leone I know, but it will not be convenient to say it here. I am talking here because I want to help change Sierra Leone. I'm not interested in being a politician in Sierra Leone. Sierra Leone gets polarities where we need for accept and find solutions to. We can condemn the SLPP until thy kingdom come. We condemn the APC until thy kingdom come. But there are certain specific issues about these two groups where we're not able to change. So what is the solution? The solution, look at the political dynamics and decentralize the country. I've been saying this since 2007. I write articles on this. But Sierra Leoneans don't respect Sierra Leoneans. If not been waiting man can talk them, they don't accept them. We need efficient decentralization for go across and over all them challenges here. That man we don't sabi but monkey. Anyhow being a monkey is sabi. That sabi but buman. Anyhow being a buman is sabi. You can't force him to change. And anytime we get access for making control things, it will behave like a monkey or it behave like a bowman. So decentralize, give power to the districts or the chiefdoms, let them plan their own development, like what you do now, you area, that school project. If not be a decentralized society, where then they give the money to the chiefdom, una go do and that way they una solve the problem. Not so?
Now, point one day, he good for yeah.
The solution to Sierra Leone's problem is decentralization. And the other thing we'll get for do, we for reduce with public service. One, let everybody go work now in district where born. Two, the national public service for be contractual. Not keep anybody in the same office for over 5 years. Assess them after 5 years based on his stewardship. You continue it in service if you want to get a promotion. We have a history of diversity when I've been part of waiting been the cause then trade wars. If we don't understand that side of who we are and use them in a modern way to an advantage, let everybody take care of your own business. Then on the presidency, on parliament, we have to come with strategies for make sure say there is an equal distribution of power nationwide. Checker Stevens attempted it. Now I make it be they make 2 vice presidents. You understand? There are several things we'll get for do. Wherefore we remove we from this westernized colonial structure. Then we adopt something we go work for we culturally. This is what the intellectuals are failing to do because the intellectuals are nothing but educated zombies in Sierra Leone.
So that's aside for the dissolution, for decentralization, they adopt them in 2 instances.
But it is still centralized.
No, wait no more now. Wait no more now, sir. We decentralize the yes to that. One can do that. When I went through data during Tijan Kabine time, following the war. Now, some of the things and the way the British they work with them, other international United Nations recommend. So you see, let me introduce where that which is they for say they forgive power to the local authorities themselves.
Yes.
And so Tijan Kaba being do that by so now through the thing progress onto an Iskroma, then word, then thing the way they create not be exist before. Because they say exactly what he talks so now they recommend. But the side one missing where I have an agreement with you, I'll come there too. And Escoroma, it can do the same way it can decentralize, where it reduce like Kabbalah, where they make Falaba, all the incidents, because they say, okay, this district is big, let it divide up. And the reason why they recommend this thing, and it also falling within this national sense of place. If you get a place like Bond District, where maybe not 10,000 people in it, hypothetically, and you get Kabbalah, where be to say, then get 50,000 people. So if we get a national resource where they divide, where like they say, okay, every year, based on for let them distribute resources, national resources, then they give every district, then they give them 50 million. If you don't give 50 million to Kabbalah, we get
50,000 people.
Then you give 50,000 to Bond.
Then a disadvantage for Kabbalah.
A disadvantage for Kabbalah. So they say, okay, what they can do is, so that's why they do census. Now, what it can happen now is that they defeat that purpose because, you know, the evil politicians, when they produce and they promote...
They come, sir, they come. Evil now, we they allow them for exist. You know the failure of the Anescoma method? Are the same colonial mentality. I am the ruler, I can take a decision, and the people have to accept it. Before that was done, if we want to democratize our societies, this is what happens in Norway. Norway is a highly decentralized country. If they get for take any such decision, then they come to the people, then discuss them with them. Then they come with the data. Then after that, then they go on national TV, then discuss them. So the awareness that they say now for this reason, make them they do this.
You know who start hit if they follow me, what we talk and say, I don't know if I yesterday all that discussion. I say the thing we talk about coming to the people.
Yes.
And I've been beginning, but I've not been continuing that tonight.
Go ahead, sir.
So the thing where he talks to, in my study, we're looking at why policies are not the work.
Because we don't consider the people.
The people. And so look at it. This is what when I do my study, I even don't write me and me professor. We have something we don't produce. I will share that to you. How that they affect democratic kind of.
It undermine them because the people's participation in the build trust.
Well, we call them stakeholder engagement.
Yes. If you don't have it, then there will be no trust in society.
If you don't have engagement, then you don't create a problem because
exactly.
And also they use a language, a subject where they say targeted audience. Every policy get a targeted audience. Is it a national audience or a specific audience? And so that audience basically how they will create a buy-in, accept and take then policies.
Now you are talking. Now we are talking.
So until they I was beginning no. Now wait, so then when they talk, when they bring something, that's what I was going to say to you. I have written something, a peer review article, and it was approved. Me and the professor, I go try to share that with you, specifically on Sierra Leone, on a stakeholder engagement. And when you look at we they see, and we go beyond Sierra Leone. Every society, whether or whatever,
that is how the world is built.
Yeah. So the case we bring about Norway, they have a system where don't work for them for so many time, for centuries, and these are old people groups, and the mentality is so changed that they say, okay, you know what? Let's basically we can't do anything without the people.
Yeah.
In Sierra Leone. They begin by saying, let's go meet the people. But once they get power, the people have nobody.
Yeah, because anymore. The colonial mentality of impunity now they take precedence.
Mr. Jallo, let's say before the white man come, we get paramount chief business, so them defect, right?
Then be they call meeting. Then be they call meeting.
Huh?
Then be they call meeting.
Then be they call meeting, right?
They're not be they just take decision, no. Then be they call meeting.
Pre-colonial time, they would say, and so now, what did happen is in this society also we find ourselves so now. We find out say people are not able to understand. I make us talk to say the problems the way we get when we get the right platform, the code they talk people they listen to we for say, hey, Mohamed Toure don't really research on Sierra Leone and he writes something about Sierra Leone on stakeholder engagement at academic level. Let's listen to it. Let him share. Let him present this. And let them know. So the problems then we have no common ground on how to address them problem there, why the problem there exists, and how them problem they always as Australians they they move forward.
Because we get the colonial mentality of not listening to each other.
Well, me now no more the old colonial and we say I know they go share with you, but see what they say. I know say for 153 years, listen, for 153 years, we had a society, we to say, now a foreign organ, now in the rule, we reduce the people into nothing, then they listen to them and follow them. I believe saying
when you not listen, they beat you, then go put you on that tick and they call on kui. You sabi that tick there?
The point now is that how we go get for move from them tier.
Well, that's why the intellectuals need to come together to discuss these issues, Doc.
Look at that boy. Now I people choke how they call that country?
Burkina Faso.
We be to say and one thing way if you do comparative government, they know say democracy and if you look at how they call it political economy where they look at we already talk about institutions and government, democracy and everything. You didn't know say, there's never been any research now this world where approved for say democracy now a source of development now any part of the world. In order to be a foundation of development, a root cause of development. They are just a political system where we say they create where they allow people and when they in our office, then they take power and again 1 or 2 or 3 advantage. So
well, it depends on the democracy way they talk about.
But the democracy. Not
you are talking about political democracy.
Well, no.
There is social democracy.
No, Mr. Jallo, let's be factual about this.
Mm-hmm.
When you talk about whether it's social or economic, all those things are just byproduct of the key thing when we talk about democracy. Where first of all, they talk about people and they share power based on agreements.
Well, democracy is not about power,
anything else falls within that. So social, economic.
Democracy is not about power. It's about.
We don't elect economic leaders. We don't elect social leaders. We elect political leaders. So everything falls within that.
Can we come to an agreement, sir?
Well,
democracy is not about power. It's about social order. Social order where they allow everybody for be a participant in the affairs of the society. That's democracy. Yes. You see, at the camps, there have been several definitions that are wrong. There are several definitions that are wrong. I did a course in democratization and electioneering. The definition of government of the people, for the people, by the people is wrong. Democracy is a social order in which everybody's voice, everybody's talent, everybody's resources is considered as part of the society. And in that case, it builds trust. If we hear about the Nordic system of democracy, that's what is practiced here.
So let me come in. I believe over the years there's been a process for segment, because now this country has done so. This is the country whose side the whole thing come up.
Not a day come out.
No,
Now they adopt them
and
and begin life and
I'm not going to
people.
talk about the Greek days because the Greek side of philosophy where they go and made because over the years there's been because we are following this model now for say which is the point here is there's been a lot of where people don't define democracy and whatever and this that I know. The point why the type of say here is that whatever way we would define democracy, the central part of it is that the focus now for let people get a chance for come and participate.
Exactly.
And participate. However, the participation there, participation with representation and participation, those are just several variables and elements per way day.
Exactly.
So electioneering
it's just part of.
But what about where people opportunities them in society? Then a part of it, we to say it's the responsibility of the leaders for letting ensure say people are able to live in terms of whether there's security, in terms of whether jobs,
in terms of access to the good of the nation.
Yeah, protection of the environment.
Yes.
So that we could live that. So everything. So those are all variables where they promote the principle itself. So and that's naive absent will be to say we, not able to use and at some point of me academics which is of life, there is what we call Dr. We get Bill Bennett when a foremost academic, and I want to let you look at polarities of democracy, please, and look at let you see, and at that side there behind is that theory there, polarities. And when you look at on the polarities of democracy, they also see all the things they talk about. So how whether it will work well or not, it work well, it will fall within that thing. But the point what they make earlier was that whereas democracy say this will bring the way how a clear way how we able to live amicably, share power, and promote to society. Then waiting at the type of say here is countries don't in the world who don't do well for the people. Maybe to say they did not have elected kind of leaders. Just like this boy where they bring them kind of thing in that place in that country.
No, look at China. China is a one-party state, but it's more democratic.
So democracy, ever be a kind of a system where now they bring development, economic growth, now in society.
I we get an agreement, Doc.
Yes, sir.
The Western concept of democracy, which we think is democracy in Africa, cannot work for us.
Of course.
We had an African system of democracy. You are somebody from a culture in Sierra Leone, say, in your chiefdom, when something happen, the community, they come together, all my engaged, not so?
Mm-hmm.
If somebody gets in farm with one brush, he need labor, they go to the town chief, not so? The town chief, they call all the able-bodied man, they say, this man don't come. He say, one do so. Then give condition. First time, they say, like, provide food and drinks and waiting with they can't brush the farm. Now, maybe it don't involve some inputs of cash and other things. These are all aspects of democracy. When things happen at your village, all man, they come together, they engage, not so? This is all aspect of democracy. What we are getting wrong in Sierra Leone, which is why we need to decentralize. That man from Kailan, how then they engage and agree? Not the same with the man from Pujang, or the same with the man from Kurbola, or Falaba, or Freetown. All man getting your way for Duam. So the best you can do, allow people to operate in their natural environment, give them access to the good of the nation, let them able to develop themselves within their own talent. You understand? And one thing we'll get for take out of the matrix, if we don't decentralize, If they say Bombali district, all the contracts for Bombali district projects should be handled by people from Bombali. You know, they go take man from Levuma, Kamputa, na Bombali for do contract because na party picking. Or you take man from Bombali, Kerango Pujan for go do the contract because na party picking or party supporter. This is where we are getting it all messed up and wrong, doc. And that's all what they do so, the aspects of the autocratic mentality where colonialism introduced to me.
Well, I mean, I cannot agree with you more. Mr. Dallo, I'm just happy we get in these discussions all the time and gaining a lot, studying a lot. And let God continue for you the long life and let people that they listen. Where would you sound like we not agree on stuff?
Now, get for make this platform become known by people.
Let's say that point where you bring, they refer them to the electoral side of Sierra Leone. And a crisis where they right now, it is something points the way they say that tripartite, the SLPP don't deviate from them. Madam, you not agree on them anymore. And one of them was that when they make a suggestion for the committee. No, listen to this. They make.
I just laugh.
Because me, I like for go to party. So the.
I get easy you make a laugh when you talk. Don't I go tell you.
Me say they can't let you just know. And they hit the high.
Hello. It's like I lost him. He started moving.
Elections.
You don't begin moving.
So now they say, okay. No, I don't begin moving.
Yeah, just round up quickly.
So I did. So waiting. They say for them commissioner, like I say so. Would they not let put a commissioner where they not where they not this where they not even the district way come out. They say no. So now they don't begin send people them of the young people the academy do trade. So you see now a problem that a friction that one day. And no mean say we do the policeman they say on community policing. If you there, will bring this person no more where for can police area.
They go take somebody outside for can work in a community as a police. It's wrong.
Yeah. Well, that one day they suggest to them, they don't deviate from they don't agree. So they see the 2028 election will be another problematic because they don't begin choose people them by just choosing and put. They say, go through the commission. Let them say, who do I want to bring? Before you even bring names them, then before you submit them to parliament. They not do and then they pass them to parliament. And when they can see now, there are people in way affiliated with the party they make. So that point we bring, it's going on now. It's going on now as I speak.
Then we are still colonized, Doc. We are still colonized.
Me, I go take the dictionary definition of the word colonial.
Well, me not say the dictionary.
I know. No, well, if I say the definition. However, I know say the action is wrong. You they promote. You they say the action of doing that it linked to that colonialism. But me they say as somebody when a human being come out who need peace. I don't spend more time abroad from the time small wrong. Me time I don't spend abroad past the time where they come saloon back and forth. The certain of way this criminal day. So I need the country. But now I know they want to go to a country. Even people that want to get problem with them, they know they go because nothing know they work. So
nothing know they work. So they go do
it. Yeah, every country, Kosovo, Bosnia, which I affect them in day. All the people that don't go. No, they every one thing now. If they really soccer, they go. The environment is relatively peaceful. Every side, even Somalia, people are going back to their countries. It's alone. It just stay like so. We not get active war, but people in the great tension. Then people are not get stability.
We go reach there. We go reach there.
Yes.
We go reach there.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for the conversation. I always appreciate your conversation.
You're welcome, sir. You're welcome.
We get a lot of points who they deviate from, but we they come back together.
Yeah, we don't disagree, but for agree all the time. Thank you, sir.
Okay, sir. You too, sir. Thank you and have a nice weekend. Okay, Fambulem, I think we don't do justice today. I started with the English because I wanted to make it a more international discourse, but I'm sure most of us understand what was being said by the guest, even though he was speaking in Creole. Creole, I believe, say they're very close to English, so virtually we understand it across Africa. These are the issues we should be looking at. These are the issues we should be discussing. These are the issues we should be questioning. Otherwise, we'll be doing the same thing, expecting different outcomes. Anyway, thank you very much for all the guests that came today. Mr. ML Wuri, Mr. Abu Mansari, Mr. Jibril Ali Sise, and Mr. Bai Samuel Kamara. Thank you very much for your comments, and please assist to share this channel. This is not about politics, it's about looking at the issues, even though we need to discuss and must always discuss the politicians. They are our servants. They should be of service to us. They are not the bosses. We are not here to insult them. We are here to talk about their actions. Where necessary, we criticize them without malice, so that they will see that there is a reason for change. Thank you very much. I hope you all have a nice weekend. We'll see on Monday. Die volente, as they say in the Latin.
We pledge love and loyalty to the country salute. My how we there, my how we born. We sweet salute. We not for make this country fall. Mama salute. We let we salute. But this we land we love. We not for make them fall. We let we salute. Then they thief the money, then they fly. They London, they Dubai, then they buy. We they are, we just a try. This day I don't come up and dry eye. Then they thief the money, then they fly. They London, they Dubai, then they buy. We they are, we just a try. But this day I don't come up and dry eye. We pledge we love and loyalty to the country salute. My how we there, my how we born. We sweet salute. We not for make this country fall. Mama salute. We let we salute. But this we land we love. We not for make them fall. We let we salute. But this we land we love. We not for make them fall. We salute.
For the wreck the country. It's a witch. For the wreck the country. I guess I carpets, Gaman Keraka, Gaman Koneka, Gaman Keraka, Chamucham, Gaman Monica, Kaipom, Gaman Koneka, for the wreck the country. It's a witch. For the wreck the country. And they go and they beg. Come and shake. The people that they gen. Then Hagawa shem. They make me get the chicken and the picture. Now we hope for today and the future. Forgive them by scripture. They make me get the chicken and the picture. Now we hope for today and the future. Don't forgive them by scripture.
We pledge love and loyalty to the country salute. My how we there, my how we born. We sweet salute. We not for make this country fall. Mama salute. We let we salute. But this we land we love. We not for make them fall. We let we salute.
We salute.
you.